Here are the 9 contestants preparing for today's show. Only one of them can win prize money of up to £10,000. The others will leave with nothing, as round by round they are voted off as the weakest link.
Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 9 people in the studio here today could win up to £10,000. They don't know each other, however, if they want the potential prize money, they will have to work as a team, but 8 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
Hello, my name is Tyler, I am 28 years old, and I am a hotel receptionist.
Hello, my name is Scarlett, I'm 26 years old, and I'm a pre-nursery school teacher.
I'm Nathaniel, I'm 60, and I'm a doctor.
Hi, I'm Cody, I'm 33 years old, and I'm a cartoon animator.
I'm Ella, I'm 19 years old, and I'm a musical theater student.
Hi, I'm Amelia, I'm 37 years old, and I'm a chef.
My name is Jenna, I'm 31 years old, and I'm a full-time mother.
Hello, I'm Chris, I'm 54, and I'm a firefighter.
Hi, my name is Howard, I'm 45, and I'm a police officer.
Just to remind you of the rules, in each round you have a target of £1,000. The aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £1,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong, you break the chain, and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say, "bank," before the question is asked, and I will state this again, before the question is asked, the money is safe, but you'll start a new chain from scratch. Remember, at the end of the round only money that's been banked can be taken forward. Round 1, 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. And that's you, Amelia. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Amelia, what is the national anthem of the United Kingdom called?
God Save the Queen.
Nope, wrong. God Save the King. What a great start this is. Jenna, how many players are in a doubles match of tennis?
4.
Correct, Chris. In geography, which European country are Dutch people from?
Deutschland.
Even the Netherlands, Chris. Howard, in measurements 12 inches are equal to 1 what?
Foot.
Correct, Tyler. In traditional art, what color would I get if I mixed red and yellow?
Orange.
Correct, Scarlett. What's the name of the fairy in the 1953 Disney film Peter Pan?
Tinkerbell.
Correct, Nathaniel. In occupations, what does a florist sell?
Flowers.
Correct, Cody. Which battery size is larger, C or D?
D.
Correct, Ella.
Bank.
What is the first letter of the Greek alphabet?
Alpha.
Correct, Amelia. In fashion, what kind of clothing are Wellingtons?
Boots.
I'll accept boots or wellies. Correct, Jenna. In which Asian country does the giant panda originate?
China.
Correct, Chris. What food item goes after silly, to give a phrase for a foolish person?
Silly Billy.
No, Chris, silly sausage is the correct
For God's
answer.
sake.
Howard, in maths, what is 7 squared?
49.
Correct, Tyler. Cappuccino, espresso, and Americano are all types of what drink?
Coffee.
Correct, Scarlett. Wattel is a type of necklace usually concealing a picture, typically of a loved one.
Locket.
Correct, Nathaniel. What percussion musical instrument shares its name with a three-sided geometrical shape?
Triangle.
Correct, Cody. The purple mascot Grimace is associated to which fast food chain?
McDonald's.
Correct, Ella.
Bank.
Which district of Los Angeles, California is sometimes called Tinseltown?
Is it Hollywood?
Correct, Amelia.
Bank.
The politician Keir Starmer has been the leader of which political party since 2020?
Is it Labour?
Correct, Jenna. Complete the phrase. One good turn deserves what?
Another.
Correct, Chris. Who does Romeo fall in love with in the William Shakespeare tragedy?
Julia.
No, Chris. Juliet. Howard, what name is given to the white ball and pool and snow? Time's up. I cannot complete the question. And after this painfully easy round, team, you did not reach your £1,000 target. But you managed to bank £620. Who woke up this morning and forgot to take their brain with them? Who is about as bright as a blackout? One of you is about to face the walk of shame with absolutely diddly squad. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
After answering the most questions correctly, Jenna is the first strongest link of the game. Ella banked the most money in the round, banking £600. The weakest link was Chris. He failed to answer a single question correctly. But who will be first to go home in this early stage of the game?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think was the weakest link.
Chris.
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 Amelia.
Ella.
Amelia, who got the first question in the game, and also got the first wrong answer. How did you manage to do that?
It was such a simple mistake. I completely forgot that Britain changed the name of their anthem, due to the Queen passing away, and Prince Charles becoming next in line.
How on earth could you possibly forget the Queen passing away, given it was not even 3 years ago yet, and it was practically breaking news around the world? Were you living under a rock?
No, I obviously remember it being on the news. It's just Britain had God Save the Queen as their anthem for so long. It's the first thing that comes to mind.
70 years on the throne after all, so you do have a point there. So what is it you do for a living, Amelia?
I'm a chef.
A professional one?
No, not quite.
Why not?
Don't get me wrong, I'm still a great cook, but just not a professional.
Not great enough to be a professional though?
Well, it's just the stress of working in a big restaurant full of hundreds of people all day, and I really enjoy cooking, and I think that would make it less enjoyable for me.
It's such a shame too, because it's a very good pay, but that's understandable. So tell me about the place that you cook for.
It's a small Italian cafe that has a very relaxing and peaceful atmosphere, and classical Italian music.
That sounds very intriguing. And how long have you cooked in this cafe?
For 9 years, coming up for 10 this year.
And is there a most popular dish that the customers order in the cafe?
Definitely the homemade lasagna. We get orders for it every day.
I see. And what makes your lasagna so special in comparison to other Italian food places?
That would be telling. The recipe is a secret, but I will say, it's made with passion and love.
Oh come on, not even one special ingredient?
Nope. Sorry, I just can't, it's a very big secret.
Oh well, I tried. So Amelia, why have you voted for Chris?
Because I'm pretty sure he was the weakest link, and I don't think he got any questions correct at all.
Nope, he didn't. Nathaniel, remind me what you do.
I'm a doctor.
And for how long have you been a doctor?
I first became a doctor when I was 28, so it will be 32 years this year.
Impressive. And with over 3 decades of experience, would you say you were a good one?
Of course, I'm one of the best doctors in the country. I always receive compliments from my patients when I walk past them in the street, telling me how much better they feel, which makes me very happy.
And what else do you love so much about being a doctor?
It's doing the research that I love the most. Since I was at high school, I was always fascinated about diseases, how they spread, the symptoms, and of course the cure for them.
And is there any particular diseases you're currently researching to find cures, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't mind at all. There's a few I'm researching as of now: monkeypox, which is a zoonotic virus; human metapneumovirus, related to the Parmexovirus family; Alzheimer's disease; and MND, motor neurons disease.
And how is your progress? Are you having any luck so far?
Unfortunately, no breakthroughs yet, but with the way technology is advancing these days, I would say maybe in the next 5 or even 3 years we'll have a breakthrough, and hopefully prevent people becoming victims to these dangerous viruses and diseases.
True, and as much as I love the dedication, but aren't you being a little bit ambitious? After all, you're 60 years old, wouldn't you be retiring shortly then?
Hopefully not, just as long as I'm healthy and fit enough to do my job. I don't plan on retiring anytime soon.
Fair enough. And out of the diseases you're currently looking for a cure, which one would you like to discover first?
Definitely a cure for motor neurons disease. It is such a cruel and deadly disease, because like the name suggests, it's a neurological disorder, which drastically changes a person's way of life. Sadly, in worse cases, some patients are reduced to a special chair with a computer for communicating, and need additional support and carers for basic tasks.
It would be honestly brilliant if you find a cure for MND, and would certainly get a Nobel Prize as well, so I wish you all the best in your research for a cure.
Thank you very much. I will try my best.
So Nathaniel, why Chris? And what is your diagnosis for his performance today?
I voted for Chris because he didn't answer a single question correctly, and all of his questions were not hard at all. They were very simple, and with my diagnosis this is a very rare case of stupidity. Especially thinking that Deutschland and Germany are 2 different countries.
And do you have a cure for him?
No, sorry, I don't think so.
Don't worry, I think he's beyond repair, to be quite frank. Chris, the 54-year-old firefighter, who thinks Dutch people are from Deutschland, thinking it's a different country than Germany, and also thinks Romeo fell in love with Julia instead of Juliet. Well, there's really not much more I can say, apart from your performance today has certainly went up in smoke, so let's get this over with. With 7 votes you are most certainly the weakest link. Goodbye.
Well, that was very embarrassing. I made a proper fool of myself out there today, and the reason why I said Deutschland is because I couldn't think of a European country that begins with a D, and I honestly didn't know that's what the Germans call their homeland. Well, I'm bracing myself when I get back, because everybody is going to rip me apart for the rest of my days.
Round 2. Out of the possible £1,000 you have £620 in the bank. There are 8 of you left. We're cutting 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round, and that's Jenna. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Jenna, in pop music, which well-known band had a famous song in 1975 called Bohemian Rhapsody?
Queen.
Correct, Howard. What C is the surface that artists use to draw or paint on?
Canvas.
Correct, Tyler. In British slang, how much money is a quid worth?
£1.
Correct, Scarlett. What type of natural disaster is rapidly moving mass of heavy snow on a downward slope?
Avalanche.
Correct, Nathaniel. In geography, which South American country has Brasilia as its capital city?
Brazil.
Correct, Cody. In video games, which weapon-based fighting game by Namco does the players primarily use swords?
Soul Calibur.
Correct, Ella.
Bank.
In digital devices, an app is abbreviated to which full word?
Application.
Correct, Amelia. In superstitions, which day of the week is considered to be unlucky when falling on the 13th day of the month?
Oh, it's Friday.
Correct, Jenna. The Border Collie is a type of dog breed renowned for herding what animals?
Sheep.
Correct, Howard. In April of 2019, which cathedral in Paris had a huge fire which caused
Notre Dame.
Correct, Tyler. True or false, is the fictional character Hello Kitty considered to be a cat?
It's true.
Nope, it's false. Scarlett, in which decade of the 20th century was the first edition of the Guinness Book of World Records first published?
The 50s.
Correct, Nathaniel. In food, what is the main ingredient in the Mexican dip guacamole?
Avocados.
Correct, Cody. Which city and English football club has Anfield Stadium as their home ground?
Manchester City.
Nope, Liverpool.
Bank.
Nothing to bank, Ella. In the cartoon Powerpuff Girls, the three characters are Blossom, Buttercup, and which other?
Bubbles.
Correct, Amelia. In which side of the road do people drive in Australia, the left side or the right side?
Is it the left side?
Correct, Jenna. Which actor and comedian played the main character in the 2003 Christmas movie Elf?
Will Ferrell.
Correct, Howard.
Bank.
What domestic animal is a hybrid between a male donkey and a female horse?
A mule.
Correct, Tyler. In the human body, the technical term epistaxis is the bleeding of what facial feature?
Is it the mouth?
Wrong. The correct answer, Tyler, is the nose, not the mouth. Once again, the time is up. And with just £550 banked, I don't know what's more disappointing, the fact that you banked a lower amount of money after dumping Chris, or is it the fact you had a chain of 10 correct answers, which means you could have got the £1,000 if you banked intelligently? Who isn't paying enough attention? Who is still in sleep mode and desperately needs a rude awakening? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
In the second round, Howard is the strongest link, since he got all of his questions correct and banked £100. Ella has again banked the most money, banking £450. After getting the most questions wrong, Tyler is the weakest link. But whose game is over?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think was the weakest link.
Cody.
Tyler.
Cody.
Tyler.
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 Ella.
Cody. Do you watch football much?
Not really. But I do have a friend who watches football, and I watch it with them on the TV sometimes.
And do you know what team they support?
Honestly, no. I can't remember.
Well, you better hope they're not a Liverpool fan, after thinking that their home ground of Anfield is Manchester City's home ground, especially given that they are big rivals in English football.
Well, it just goes to show how much I know about football. Manchester City was just the first team that comes to mind.
Also, you're insinuating that Manchester City is the most well-known out of all the other clubs in the whole of England.
Not at all, I don't mean it like that.
Right. So tell me, what do you do for a living, Cody?
I'm a cartoon animator.
And for how long have you been animating cartoons?
For 11 years.
And what inspired you one day to become a cartoon animator?
Well, I've always had a huge passion for animation, and it's all the shows and movies I used to watch as a kid that inspired me to take courses in high school and college.
And would you like to tell me the shows and films you used to watch as a kid? I'm pretty curious.
Sure, I'd love to. My favorite shows were the Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, and then Tough Puppy in my late teens. And my all-time favorite movie was The Lion King, and I also liked Timon and Pumbaa.
Good taste. And are you animating full feature-length films at the moment?
Not yet, but I do make films, with a runtime of 30 to 45 minutes. However, it still takes a lot of work.
I see. And when you eventually move on to full feature films, what are you hoping to get out of that for the future?
I'm planning on working in a major animation company in America. Perhaps if I'm more ambitious, maybe even Disney or Warner or other studios, as I'm a huge fan of their work.
Very ambitious considering they're both multi-billion-dollar conglomerates, especially Disney, in the animation world, so very good luck with that.
Thank you.
So Cody, why did you vote for Tyler?
Because he was worse than me. I only got one wrong, while Tyler got 2 questions wrong. And one of the questions was about Hello Kitty. Come on Tyler, she's not really a cat, she's a schoolgirl.
Ella, remind me what you do.
I'm a musical theater student.
And how long have you been studying musical theater?
This is my first year of musical theater school, so not long at all.
And how is your first year going so far?
It's going very well. I'm getting very good grades, and next year, I'm hoping to play in big parts, because I do put a lot of practice into it.
What do you enjoy the most about musical theater? The singing, acting, or the dancing?
I enjoy all the parts of musical theater, but if I were to pick, I'd say the dancing.
And is there any plays you've seen that inspired you to pursue the fine art of musical theater?
Oh yes, my favorite play is Wicked, and I watched the latest film in the cinema too.
That's a very popular one. I bet there's no prizes for guessing your favorite scene and song is Defying Gravity. Am I correct?
Yeah. How did you know?
Oh, just a hunch. But anyway, as you're currently 19 years old, do you see yourself being in a big musical such as Wicked in 5 years' time?
I would love to think so, as that's my dream. But if I continue to do well in my classes, and keep on practicing every day, who knows, surely maybe one day.
How optimistic. Tell me, how long do you practice every day, and what is the most challenging parts?
I put in at least 4 to 5 hours of practice, sometimes even more in the weekends when I'm not busy. And I believe the most challenging parts is remembering your lines and the singing opera pieces, because you need a powerful voice and controlled breathing.
That's some true dedication. Have you ever sang opera in a play before yourself?
I've had a few times, but I must admit I do struggle to sing the higher notes. That's why I much prefer the dancing and acting.
Fair enough. So Ella, why Tyler? Had enough of him?
Not at all. I've got nothing personal against him, but unfortunately he did get the most questions wrong, and that makes him the weakest link, so I voted for him.
He was indeed the weakest link in this round. Tyler, the 28-year-old hotel receptionist, who thinks Hello Kitty is a real cat, and thinks the term epistaxis is the bleeding of the mouth. You got the most questions wrong, making you the worst player in the round. It's time for you to check out of here and go back to the hotel. With 5 votes you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I am very disappointed to be voted off. I thought I was doing pretty well until now, but I got completely stunned by the Hello Kitty question, and after that my mind went completely blank. I hope Howard gets voted off next, because he is way too overly confident, and I noticed his irritating smug grin on his face while he was getting the questions right.
Round 3. You have in the bank £1,170 out of a possible £2,000. You're down to 7 players. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Howard. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Howard, which sport does Marcus Smith play for the England national team?
Rugby union.
Correct, Scarlett. In nature, what kind of tree do acorns grow?
Oak trees.
Correct, Nathaniel. What is the act of presenting someone else's work or ideas as your own without their consent?
Plagiarism.
Correct, Cody. How many degrees Celsius is the freezing point of water?
Is it 0?
Correct, Ella.
Bank.
In the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy, what weapon does Grim carry with him?
I've never watched that show before, so pass.
The correct answer is aside, Ella. Amelia, which large desert located in Africa is approximately 9.2 million square kilometers in size?
The Gobi Desert?
Nope, the Sahara Desert. Jenna, if I had a dozen 50-pence coins, how much money do I have in total?
£6.
Correct, Howard. What 1987 film would you associate the famous line, "Nobody puts baby in a corner"?
Dirty Dancing.
Correct, Scarlett. In the Bible, what was the name of the garden in the Adam and Eve story?
The Garden of Eden.
Correct, Nathaniel. What F is a chemical commonly found in toothpaste?
Fluoride.
Correct, Cody. Which English fashion designer and singer had her first child in 1999 called Brooklyn?
Pass.
Victoria Beckham. Ella, in the French language, what mode of transport is an avion?
Plane.
Plane or airplane? Correct, Amelia.
Bank.
Which function on a video or a DVD player is represented by a square?
Pause.
No, Amelia, stop. Jenna, which kitchen appliance is referred to Americans as a stove?
A cooker or oven.
Correct, Howard. In books, who wrote the 1811 novel Sense and Sensibility?
Jane Austen.
Correct, Scarlett.
Bank.
In children's TV, what is the name of the show when you find the agents? Dudley, Puppy, Kitty, Catswell, and Verminous Snaptrap?
Tough Puppy.
Correct, Nathaniel. What did the Scottish physicist and microbiologist Alexander Fleming famously discover?
Penicillin.
Correct, Cody. If someone was born on American Independence Day, what star sign would they have?
Gemini.
Nope.
Oh,
Cancer.
come on.
Bank.
Nothing to bank. Ellen, what type of genre of music first? Time's up. I cannot complete the question. And you went from getting slightly worse to now in absolute shambles. After getting rid of Chris and Tyler, you should be improving, but nope, the exact opposite. You banked the woeful £270. Who is still letting you down? Who seriously needs to be thrown overboard? Whose efforts are simply insufficient? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
According to the statistics, Scarlett is the strongest link, since she got all of her questions correct, and banked £50. For the third time in a row, Ella has once again banked the most money, banking £200. Despite Cody losing £250 in this round, Amelia is the weakest link, since she got no correct answers. But has the team noticed that?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think was the weakest link.
Cody.
Ella.
Howard.
Cody.
Ella.
Howard.
Ella.
Howard. What do you do for a living?
I'm a police officer.
Oh, another one, huh? Well, it's a very good thing for your sake you were not in the previous episode.
Oh yeah, and how's that?
Well, it's just we also had someone who just so happened to be a police officer as well, and the whole team practically ganged up on him in the first round. just for being a police officer. So it's a stroke of luck it wasn't you.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. That would be PC Slater. Yeah, he told me all about it. It's quite ridiculous.
Quite ridiculous indeed. So what rank are you on the police force, Howard?
I am a chief constable.
And for how long have you been a chief constable?
Well, I've been on the force for 22 years, but it's been 7 years since I got promoted to chief constable.
I see. And tell me, does your local area keep you busy with criminal mischief every day, or is it pretty peaceful?
To be honest, it's a bit in the middle. The town does have its moments, but for the most part, nothing really much happens.
Well, that's not so bad, I guess. And when you and your crew are not busy putting troublemakers behind bars, what do you get up to in your spare time?
Aha, I'm glad you asked. In my spare time I like to enter and watch quiz competitions, such as The Weakest Link, and especially Who Wants to Be Millionaire. And out of all my appearances in my local pub quiz, I only lost once.
Really? That's very impressive if that's true. And are you feeling confident you'll win today's game?
Of course. In fact, I would call myself a quiz wizard.
A quiz wizard, huh? Bold claim. Besides only losing once in your local pub quiz, what else backs up your claim?
For many years I have collected hundreds of quiz books, studied and completed them myself, and I can most certainly say I know pretty much everything. There's not much at all I don't know about.
Another very bold claim to make. So what you're basically hinting at is you're going to answer every single question correctly in the whole game.
Yes, indeed. I don't see why I can't. And even if I just get one wrong, I don't mind, because let's face it, I'm going to win this competition either way.
We shall see, Howard. So why did you vote for Ella? You must want her gone since this is now the 3rd time in a row.
Yes, you're right, I do want her out. Because she's been banking non-stop since the very start of the game. Which is annoying because it's not giving me the chance to bank a significant amount of money. And also, I believe she is way too young for the show, and should probably go back to her musical college or whatever the rubbish she does.
How rude.
Totally unnecessary, Howard.
Well, you couldn't have made that more crystal clear. And did you think she was the weakest link?
I did, and I'm sure she was.
Shock horror, Howard. She wasn't. In fact, not even close. Amelia. Why Ella?
Even though Howard is being a little harsh, I agree with him about her banking too often, because I wanted to bank more money too.
Did you think she was the weakest link?
It was between her and Cody. They both had a bad round, but I chosen Ella because of the banking.
Oh really now? And how well did you do in this round?
Honestly, not brilliant either. Not as good as the last 2 rounds.
I think that's a wild understatement, because out of the 2 questions you got in this round, guess how many you got right?
Oh, I don't think I got any of them right.
Nope, you didn't. So what does that make you?
Oh no. The weakest link?
Oh yes, the weakest link. It was you who was really the worst player, and you can't tell the difference between the Sahara and Gobi Desert, yet alone not knowing how a video DVD player works.
I'm sorry. I'll do better in the next round.
I doubt that. Well, Amelia was the weakest link in this round, and somehow gotten completely unnoticed, which goes to show how much attention you've all been paying. Ella, the 19-year-old musical theater student. You were not the worst player at all, and despite banking over £1,200 for the team, I guess they don't appreciate that, because Amelia and Howard think you're banking too often, and Howard thinks you're too young for the show. Unfortunately, it's time to go back to musical theater school. With 3 votes, you're the weakest link. Goodbye.
It's already blatantly clear that they are all morons. I was nowhere near to being the weakest link. I only got 1 question wrong, and I also banked most of the money too. And now I'm going home with nothing. I'm very traumatized about this, and I hope they won't be getting any Easter eggs for Easter anytime soon. It makes me very angry and annoyed that a majority managed to vote me off, even though I am nowhere near the weakest link, and I really hope the ones who voted me off don't even earn a single penny. And I also hope Howard gets voted off next, because he is super arrogant and rude towards me, and he's been getting on my nerves.
Round 4. After that less than stellar round, you now have in the kitty £1,440 out of a possible 3,000. 6 of you left. You gotten rid of Ella, who was the top banker in the game, which is an odd strategy to say the least. Anyway, we're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. You now only have 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Scarlet. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Scarlet, which sportswear company has the tagline, "Just do it"?
Nike.
Correct, Nathaniel. In which century were the Napoleonic Wars fought?
19th century.
Correct, Cody. Which actress played Barbie in the 2023 film with the same name?
Margot Robbie.
Correct, Amelia. In American geography, which city located in Louisiana is the largest by population?
Pass.
New Orleans. Jenna, what type of bird shares its name with large construction equipment?
A crane.
Correct, Howard. In pop music, which singer had her debut studio album Yours Truly in 2013?
Ariana Grande.
Correct, Scarlet. In children's toys, which dolls come randomly in balls and have a water and color change surprise?
LOL surprise.
Correct, Nathaniel. What animals follow Miami to give the name of the NFL football team?
Is it dolphins?
Correct, Cody.
Bank.
What is the surname of the current president of Ukraine?
No, sorry, I can't remember.
Zelensky, Cody. Amelia, what is the study of fossils called?
Archaeology.
Nope, paleontology. Jenna, in geometry, what name is given to the three-dimensional shape such as a ball or a globe?
Sphere.
Correct, Howard. Which British TV game show originally hosted by Magnus and two contestants?
Mastermind.
Correct, Scarlet.
Bank.
In the year 2000, what poisonous metal was banned in the use of petrol?
Lead.
Correct, Nathaniel. What's the title of the famous 1916 poem by Robert Frost?
The Road Not Taken.
Correct, Cody. Which German gummy candy brand has popular flavors such as Tang Fastix and Starmix?
Haribo.
Correct, Amelia. If A is Alpha and Z is Zulu, what is N?
Oh, it's November.
Correct, Jenna.
Bank.
Time's up. Your bank was just in the nick of time, Jenna. And you did slightly better in this round, team. You banked £450, but I wouldn't get excited about that if I were you. Now's not the time to celebrate mediocrity. Who can you no longer afford to keep? Who needs to pack their bags and be booted from the game? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the second time in the game, Scarlet is the strongest link. The weakest link is Amelia again, since she got the most questions wrong. Will she survive the vote again?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think was the weakest link.
Amelia.
Howard.
Amelia.
Howard.
Howard.
Amelia.
We have a tie, Amelia and Howard, 3 votes each. Cody, Who couldn't remember the current president of Ukraine? How did you forget?
Honestly, I just couldn't remember. I was actually going to say Putin at first, but I realized that's actually the Russian president. So I'm glad I didn't say that.
Indeed he is, and I bet you are, considering you've already angered Liverpudlians and Mancunians today. The last thing you want is to upset the Russians and Ukrainians as well, so actually, good move there.
Yeah. Phew.
So Cody, why Amelia?
I voted for Amelia because she got more questions wrong than I did, so I think she was the worst player.
Jenna, I must say, that's some miraculous spanking you did.
Gosh, you're telling me I didn't think I got it in time for a second there.
Well, you did, and very well done for that. So Jenna, you said you were a full-time mother, am I correct?
Yes. That's right, and I sure am.
How many kids do you have?
I have two, a boy and a girl.
And how old are your daughter and son?
My daughter Francine will be 8 in May, and my son Terrence will be 6 next month in March.
Are Francine and Terrence quite a handful?
Sometimes they can, you know what siblings are like, with the occasional arguments. But mostly, they get along well, and they're both doing excellent in primary school.
Great to hear. Do you think they'll be watching you on today's Weakest Link?
They're off school today, so absolutely. My husband loves The Weakest Link, and he will definitely be watching it with the kids, just like when we watched my mother-in-law, who went on the show a couple of years ago.
Really? And what are the names of your husband and mother-in-law?
My husband is called Philip, and my mother-in-law is called Rose.
I don't recall a contestant called Rose on my show, unless if you're referring to Mike Francis's classic Weakest Link. Is that it?
Yes, that's the one.
How well did she do on the show?
She did very good. She banked most of the money, and made it all the way to the 5th round.
Oh nice. But are you feeling confident you'll do well on my show today?
Quite confident. My friends and family think I'm pretty knowledgeable, that's why they encouraged me to go on the show.
No pressure. So Jenna, why have you voted for Howard?
I'll tell you why, because I strongly disapprove of his behavior, particularly his rude comments towards Ella, saying that her passion was rubbish, which there's completely no need, and not to mention his overly cocky and smug attitude since the very start, which there's also no need for it either.
Very strong words. Well, when the vote is tied, the strongest link casts the deciding vote, and the strongest link was Scarlett. Scarlett, we finally get to hear from you. Tell us what you do for a living.
I'm a pre-nursery school teacher.
How long have you been a pre-nursery school teacher?
For 3 years, coming up for 4 this year.
What things do you teach the children in your class?
My students range from babies to toddlers, so I teach them all basic subjects like their ABCs, colors, numbers 1 to 10, shapes, and also we sing songs, play games, and have story times and snack times.
And do you get well paid for it?
It's a pretty decent pay, but even if it isn't, I still really enjoy interacting and spending time with the children. It's a job I always wanted to do growing up.
Don't they throw temper tantrums sometimes? What would you do then?
Yes, but very rarely. Most of the children are well behaved and get along with each other, but if they do get stressed or overwhelmed, I talk to them in a calm voice, and let them do their own thing to cool off.
I see. Is there any other interests or passions you have other than being a pre-nursery school teacher?
Yes, I also have a big passion for music, especially classical piano music, and I play my piano in my house when I have spare time.
Are you good at playing the piano?
I play the piano pretty well, but I strive to be even better every time I practice.
And what piece are you practicing at the moment?
Right now I'm practicing Edvard Grieg's in the Hall of the Mountain King, which is one of my favorite pieces.
Very nice. That's a challenging piece, but as much as I want to keep chatting to you about classic piano music, we need to move on before we run out of time. So Scarlett, you voted for Amelia, but you now have a choice. You may stick with Amelia or change your mind to Howard. Who do you want to see the back of?
Even though I completely agree with Jenna on Howard's spiteful behavior and would rather see the back of him. But no, I have to be completely honest and fair, so unfortunately, I'm going to stick with Amelia.
Why?
Because she got 2 questions wrong, which makes her the weakest link in this round. I'm very sorry, Amelia, but I want to vote fairly, so it's time for you to go, and I wish you all the best with your cafe.
Fair decision. She was indeed the weakest link in this round. Amelia, the 37-year-old chef, who's never heard of New Orleans. Well, so much for saying you will do better in this round. Instead, you ended up being the weakest link once again, by getting 2 questions wrong. So it's safe to say you are now cooked. It's time to go back to your cafe. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Well, I completely saw this coming. Since round 3 I was declining rapidly, and honestly, I'm very surprised I wasn't voted off in the last round. So Scarlett's decision was fair, and I hope her, or Jenna will win the game, because they both seem like really nice people.
Round 5. You have £1,890 in the bank, out of a possible £4,000. 5 of you left. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Scarlett. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Scarlett, in Judaism, what word meaning fit or proper in Hebrew is given to food that follows Jewish dietary laws?
Kosher.
Correct, Nathaniel. What type of acid is found in the human stomach as a component of gastric juices?
Hydrochloric acid.
Correct, Cody. In Morse code, the sequence ... is used for what distress signal?
SOS.
Correct, Jenna. What is the name of the Japanese reality TV show that families send their younger children to run their first errands?
Old enough.
Correct, Howard. In tourist attractions, the Giant's Causeway is located in which country of
Ireland.
No, Howard, I can't accept Ireland. The correct answer is Northern Ireland.
You've got to be kidding me.
Well, I'm not. Scarlett, in maths, what is 82 times 6?
It's 492.
Correct, Nathaniel. Which 1987 song by the firm was a parody of a sci-fi film and television franchise?
Star Trek.
Correct, Cody. What animated film tells the story of a cat named Danny who dreams of starring in films alongside another cat named Sawyer?
Cats don't dance.
Correct, Jenna. In nutrition, which vitamin is also known as retinol?
Vitamin A.
Correct, Howard.
Bank.
Which WWE wrestler was called the Big Red Machine?
The Undertaker.
Nope, Kane.
Damn it.
Scarlett, which Russian author wrote Anna Karenina, which said to be one of his greatest works?
Fyodor Dostoevsky?
Nope, Leo Tolstoy. Nathaniel, what present-day country was formerly the Ottoman Empire until 1922?
Turkey.
Correct, Cody. Which gas giant planet in the solar system has 95 officially recognized moons?
Jupiter.
Correct, Jenna. In video games, which street racing game series by Electronic Arts is abbreviated to NFS?
Is it Need for Speed?
Correct, Howard.
Bank.
What is the name of the dog that belongs to Mickey Mouse?
Bruno. No, I mean Pluto. It's Pluto.
Nope, Howard, I have to take your first answer. And with that, the time is up. Well, that was very disappointing, team. Your slight improvement didn't last long at all. You banked to less than mediocre £300. Whose game is about to come to an end? Whose hopes of winning the weakest link is about to be shattered? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
According to the statistics, Jenna is the strongest link. Despite banking all the money in this round, Howard is the weakest link, since he got all of his questions wrong. But who does the team want out?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think was the weakest link.
Howard.
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 Oh, whatever. Jenna.
My, somebody doesn't sound very happy. Nathaniel. I haven't spoken to you in a while. Tell me why you voted for Howard, the so-called quiz wizard?
Because he got all of his questions wrong in this round, and I must say, this is the most satisfying and spectacular downfall I have ever seen in my life. Howard was literally boasting that he was going to definitely win the game earlier and knowing everything, to now not getting a single question correct in this round, which means he's definitely the weakest link. Well, Howard, not so much of a quiz wizard now, are you?
He most certainly isn't. Jenna, third time in a row you voted for Howard now. I'm guessing you've really had enough of him.
To tell you the truth, I had enough of him since the very start, because even the way he would answer the questions with that childish grin and arrogant attitude wasn't already overwhelming of itself, but his nasty comment towards Ella has really sealed the deal for me. I've long awaited his major slip-up of the game, and it has finally arrived. Time to go, Howard. We will not miss you.
I wouldn't think you would. Scarlett, are you happy to see Howard about to walk away in shame?
Oh, I'm more than happy. People who are arrogant and rude like that do not deserve to win at all. And this is absolute justice. After insulting Ella and being so sure he'll win the game, to now getting all of his questions wrong. What goes around comes around, and Howard walks home with nothing, and good riddance.
Alright. And finally, Cody. Got something to say to Howard before he goes?
I sure do. Karma got you at the end, Howard. Just like all spiteful people deserve, so enjoy going home with nothing. Time for the so-called quiz wizard to vanish. And don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Well said. Howard, the 45-year-old police chief constable, and self-proclaimed quiz wizard, who can't tell the difference between the two Irelands, and thinks Bruno is Mickey Mouse's dog. Despite banking all the money in this round, it looks like insulting and isolating yourself from your teammates has well and truly backfired, and they've all rightfully had enough of you. I don't even need to give you a send-off line. Cody said it perfectly. Unanimously with 4 votes, you're the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oh my bloody god. What an absolute bunch of freaking numpties. I may have had a terrible round, but I'm still so much better than the other foolish opponents I've ever been. And you know what, I really don't care who wins anyway, because they have so lost the most valuable player, which is me.
Round 6. So far your inconsistent performance has put into Kitty £2,190, which isn't impressive, since you could have had 5,000 by now. 4 of you left. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Jenna. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jenna, which character from Jim Henson's The Muppets is known for playing the drums?
Animal.
Correct, Scarlett. In this fictional game of Quidditch from Harry Potter, what does the Seeker catch to end the game?
The Golden Snitch.
Correct, Nathaniel. Which British supermarket has a loyalty award system called Nectar Points?
Tesco.
Nope, Sainsbury's. Cody, what smartphone model was first released by Google in 2016?
The Google Pixel.
Correct, Jenna. Which Bristol-born graffiti artist did a painting in 2002 called Girl with Balloon?
Banksy.
Correct, Scarlett. In Strictly Come Dancing, what's the name of the deaf champion who won with their partner Giovanni Pernice?
Rose Ailing Ellis.
Correct, Nathaniel. The 4 African countries Tanzania, Uganda, Somalia and Kenya all use which currency?
The shilling.
Correct, Cody. What species of insect is a death's head?
Is it a moth?
Correct, Jenna. Which tropical fruit is a primary source of a group of enzymes called bromelain?
Pineapples.
Correct, Scarlett. In history, who ordered the Spanish Armada to invade England in 1588?
King Philip II of Spain.
Correct, Nathaniel.
Bank.
Which fast food restaurant has a mascot named Pizza Pooch?
Pass.
Pizza Hut. Cody, in a standard UK electrical plug, what wire is represented by the color brown?
The light wire.
Correct, Jenna.
Bank.
Which American rapper produced the 2015 album titled The Hangover?
Dr. Dre.
No, Bobby Trice. Scarlett, what female retired Olympian was the first Briton to break the world javelin throwing record?
Fatima Whitbread.
Correct, Nathaniel. In celebrity marriages, Madonna was first married to which actor?
Sean Penn.
Correct, Cody.
Bank.
What type of motor racing would you associate the American Randy Mamola?
Motorbikes.
Yes, I'd accept. Correct, Jenna.
Bank.
Time's up. Your bank was just in time again, Jenna. And finally, you're now showing signs of waking up, team, because this is the highest total you banked so far in the game. You banked £690, but at the end of the day it's still not 1,000, so consider this: should Scarlett, the pre-nursery school teacher, be placed in time out from the game permanently? Maybe you're getting too sick of Nathaniel the doctor? Is it time to drop an anvil on Cody the cartoon animator? Or perhaps, Jenna should go back to looking after her 2 children? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the first time in the game, Cody is the strongest link of this round. He got all of his questions correct, and banked £50. Despite banking £600, Nathaniel is the weakest link, since he got the most questions wrong. Will his banking and previous performance save him?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think was the weakest link.
Nathaniel.
Jenna.
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Cody. Why Nathaniel?
It was between him and Jenna. I think Nathaniel was unfortunately the weakest link in this round. I can recall him getting 2 questions wrong, while Jenna only got the 1 wrong.
You do realize he banked £600 in the round though?
Yes, but he still got the most questions wrong, which still makes him the worst player regardless. Sorry Nathaniel, but I want to be fair.
Alright. Jenna. Never heard of Obi Trice?
Yeah, I have. He is the real name, no gimmicks guy, but I've never heard of his album called The Hangover before, so I assumed it was Dr. Dre instead, but I was wrong.
Indeed you were. So why have you voted for Nathaniel?
Well, just like what Cody said, he got the most questions wrong. A pity too, because he's been doing very well until this point, and I give him big credit for banking most of the money. It's a shame he has to go, but I wish him good luck with his research.
Fair enough. And finally Scarlett, why Nathaniel? You don't like him?
I wouldn't say that at all. I do like Nathaniel. He is a very clever and nice guy. He just got very unlucky with the questions he didn't know, which led him to be the weakest link. And he did well banking the money, so I also give him credit. I wish you all the best, Nathaniel, and good luck with your research for cures for MND and other diseases.
Nathaniel was statistically the worst player in this round, so that's fair enough. Nathaniel, the 60-year-old doctor who's never shopped in Sainsbury's before, despite having a decent showing in the game and banking £600 in this round, but alas, you can no longer keep up with Scarlett, Cody and Jenna, and unfortunately your time is up. I also wish you the best of luck with your research, but With 3 votes you're the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm pretty disappointed to come all this way, only to be voted off, and I'm gutted about the pizza pooch question. I was thinking the answer was Pizza Hut at first, but I doubted myself and I didn't think that was the correct answer at the time. If I got it right, I'd probably still be in the game. The 3 of them are all really good and smart players, but honestly, I think Cody is probably going to be going home next. I don't think he's as strong as Scarlett or Jenna.
Round 7. Just as well you're starting to wake up by the way, because you don't even have half the amount you could have won. You have in the kitty £2,880 out of a possible 6,000. There are now only 3 of you left, and we still have Scarlett the pre-nursery school teacher, Cody the cartoon animator, and Jenna the full-time mother. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round, and that's Cody. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Cody, in which television series does Nick Backay provide the voice for the talking black cat Salem?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Correct, Jenna. What ancient civilization predicted that in the year 2012 the world would end according to their calendar?
The Mayans.
Correct, Scarlett. Which temple built in New Delhi completed in the late 80s was designed by Iranian architect Faribar Seba?
Is it the Lotus Temple?
Correct, Cody. What kind of alcoholic drinks do the Italian companies Martini and Cinzano produce?
Is it champagne?
Nope, vermouth. Jenna, who shot and assassinated John Lennon in 1980?
Mark David Chapman.
Correct, Scarlett. What's the name of the racehorse that got abducted and held for ransom for £2 million?
Shergar.
Correct, Cody.
Bank.
In music, which girl pop group is Nicole Scherzinger the lead vocalist for?
The Pussycat Dolls.
Correct, Jenna.
Bank.
What does the H stand for in the rare disease known as HPS, which is transmitted by rats and mice?
Pass.
Hantavirus. Scarlett, what book series by Enid Blyton features kids named Julian, Dick and George and their dog Themmy?
The Famous Five.
Correct, Cody.
Bank.
Which American president is famous for the quote, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself"?
Donald Trump.
No, Cody, even Franklin D. Roosevelt. Goodness me, Jenna, which Greek word that means success describes a figure of speech that involves deliberate exaggeration?
Hyperbole.
Correct, Scarlett.
Bank.
In chemistry, which noble gas is represented with the symbol Ar and has the atomic number 18?
Argon.
Correct, Cody.
Bank.
Which town in North Lanarkshire would you find the Scottish theme park M&D's?
Falkirk.
Nope, Motherwell, Jenna, before it was called Bangladesh. Which country?
East Pakistan.
Very valiant effort, Jenna. That's the correct answer, but unfortunately, you didn't beat the clock. And now for something not valiant whatsoever, the money you banked in this round. You banked an abysmal £130. So much for saying you've all woken up. Now I hope you're not too sleepy to listen to this. In round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank, so there's £3,000 at stake for the next round. I cannot stress this enough to you. If you want that £3,000, you need to hold on to the best player. Please have the courage to vote off the weakest link.
In this crucial stage of the game, Scarlett is the strongest link, since she was the only one to have not get a wrong answer. The weakest link was Cody, since he got most of his questions wrong, but did bank the most money. But who will take the final walk of shame?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think was the weakest link.
Cody.
Jenna.
Cody.
Finally, my advice has been taken. Scarlett, Why have you voted for Cody?
Because I'm a fair and honest voter, and Cody was definitely the weakest link. He got 3 questions wrong, while Jenna only got 1 wrong, so it wouldn't be fair if I voted for her. Sorry Cody, you tried your best banking all the money, but it wasn't enough to save you unfortunately. And thanks for the Donald Trump blunder, I haven't laughed this hard in a while.
No kidding, I almost lost it too. And Jenna, why Cody?
Scarlett summed it up perfectly. I only got 1 question wrong, while Cody on the other hand, got 3 questions wrong, so that makes them the worst player, and I'm a fair and honest voter as well, and there's no way I was going to be a coward and vote off Scarlett. Your time may be up Cody, but I wish you all the best of luck for the future. But might want to study a bit more on American history sometime though.
That's great advice. Well, it's good to see a fair vote for once. Cody, the 33-year-old cartoon animator, who thinks Donald Trump was around when Franklin D. Roosevelt was president, and nearly got the Russian president confused with the Ukrainian president. Good showing on making it this far, and for the first time in 6.5 years of the show, nearly making me laugh, but unfortunately you can no longer keep up, so that's all folks, for you. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I've had a feeling I wasn't gonna make it to the final. Because I knew Scarlett and Jenna were much better players than me, and the questions were just getting way too difficult for me anyway. I think Scarlett will win the money, because her general knowledge is very impressive, and I wish her and Jenna the best of luck in the final.
Round 8. After that utter disappointment of a round, you now have in your bank £3,010 out of a possible £7,000. Scarlett and Jenna, just the 2 of you left. In this round you only have 90 seconds, but whatever you win will be treble to make up your total prize money, so £3,000 is at stake. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round, and that's Scarlett. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Scarlett, which classic board game is the process of removing your own checkers from the board called bearing off?
Backgammon.
Correct Jenna. What long-running BBC radio program was first presented by Roy Plomley in 1942?
Desert Island Discs.
Correct Scarlett. What YouTuber and internet personality launched a food product called Feastables?
Mr. Beast.
Correct Jenna. The 1856 play The Frozen Deep, mainly written by Wilkie Collins, was also influenced by which other novelist?
Is it Charles Dickens?
Correct Scarlett. What A is an artificial sweetener commonly found in sugar-free products such as diet soda?
Aspartame.
Correct Jenna. Who directed the film released in February 2023 titled Knock at the Cabin?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Correct Scarlett.
Bang.
Which king of England was known for the nickname the Hammer of the Scots?
Edward I.
Correct Jenna.
Bang.
Which song by Corner Shop was remixed by Norman Cook, who is also known as Fatboy Slim?
I don't know.
Brimful of Asha. Scarlett, in advertising which Japanese car manufacturer is associated with the slogan and jingle, Zoom Zoom?
Toyota?
Nope, Mazda. Jenna, which mystery horror TV series was created by Mark Frost and David Lynch?
Twin Peaks.
Correct Scarlett.
Bang.
Which tennis player published an autobiography in 2009 titled Open?
Is it Andre Agassi?
Time's up. Andre Agassi was the correct answer, but you were out of time. And you banked £490, we'll treble that and added your total winnings bank in the previous rounds. So this gives you a total prize money today of £4,480, but only one of you can take that money away. You will now play against each other head-to-head. I'll ask you up to 5 alternating questions each. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5, we'll go to sudden death until we have a winner. So Scarlett and Jenna, for £4,480. Let's play the weakest link. Scarlett, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice to who goes first.
I'll let Jenna go first.
Jenna. In geography, what name is given to land that's almost entirely surrounded by water, but still connected to the main land?
Peninsula.
That's the correct answer. Scarlett. In British politics, the MPs David Blunkett, Theresa May, and most recently, Yvette Cooper, have all served which cabinet role?
Home Secretary.
That's the correct answer. Jenna. What was the name of the fundraising event held in Cleveland, Ohio, in 1986, caused major disruptions, including the tragic rescue search of 2 fishermen?
Balloon Fest 86.
That's the correct answer. Scarlett. In classical music, which Austrian composer, famously called the Waltz King, wrote the 1868 waltz, Tales from the Vienna Woods?
That was Johann Strauss the Younger.
Yes, Johann Strauss the Younger or Johann Strauss II. Correct answer. Jenna. In women's football, which footballer who plays for Arsenal's women's team was also the captain of the English national team during the 2022 UEFA Women's Euros tournament?
Pass. I have no idea.
The correct answer is Leah Williamson. Scarlett. What 1993 film, produced by Walt Disney, stars John Candy, who plays the character Irving Irv Blitzer, who coaches a Jamaican bobsleigh team?
Cool Runnings.
That's the correct answer. So far Scarlett is in the lead. Jenna. In human anatomy, what gland plays a crucial part of producing 2 hormones, thyroxine and triiodothyronine, which regulates metabolism and how the body uses energy?
The thyroid gland.
That's the correct answer. Scarlett. Between 1946 and 1958, the Bikini Atoll, which was used for U.S. nuclear weapons testing, belongs to which island group?
I think it's the Marshall Islands.
That's the correct answer. Jenna. You need to answer this next question correctly to stay in the game. Which book series, from writer and illustrator Rosemary Wells, was adapted into children's television series that first premiered in September 30th, 2000?
Max and Ruby.
No. The correct answer is Timothy Goes to School. That means Scarlett, you are today's strongest link and you go away with £4,480. Jenna. You leave with nothing. Join us again for the weakest link. Goodbye.
Wow, I really can't believe I won the weakest link and won well over £4,000. Credit for Jenna for giving it her best shot. And if I ever see Howard again, I will certainly be rubbing it in his face.
Of course I'm a little disappointed, but you know what, the best player won, which was definitely Scarlett. She deserves it for having incredible general knowledge, and I wish her all the best.